Ladies and gentlemen, make it loud, please. Here we go.
Okay, hi everybody. Let's get started. We still have a lot and we have a lot of information to get through tonight. I just want to begin. How many people are familiar with the playwright William Shakespeare? He's been in the news recently. Round of applause. So that's great. Very proud. And I can't help but think when I look at the assembled hordes and the well, as Shakespeare would say, we happy few. Band of brothers, right? I'm referring, of course, to the immortal St. Crispin's Day speech from one of his plays. And so I just want to begin before I initiate my intellectual presentation, which, according to my high standards, will be incredibly compelling and erudite and high energy. All you talk about at Thanksgiving. I think we should just take note of the inherent imbalance here and the corruption that we see on stage. It is so typical of the nurture crowd to overcompensate for their intellectual inferiority and the fact that they don't have a compelling, logically sound argument to make, that they stack the deck. Right? That is, it's ironic because the word nurture, it suggests mother's milk, right? Okay, you sure like me, all of you have mothers, whether you're in contact with them or not, but you'll remember when you were a child, sucking on your mom's breast and being cradled by her, being rocked to sleep. Maybe she sang you a lullaby, right? These things that we think of when we think of nurturing, right? I'm going to nurture you. You're the reason. You're my reason for being. I would do anything for you. I'm going to nurture you. It's all a bunch of bullshit to these people, okay? Because what you see is this kind of dark corruption of these lovely, warm human connotations. The nurturing, right? The thing that we all think of now is you all sit in the dark and think of your mother's milk, right? It's this profoundly empathetic exercise that binds us together as humans, and yet these people call themselves the nurture crowd. And now look at what they do here. Look, it's three. It's not even 3 on 2. It's only 3 on 1. Look, I'll prove it. 3 on 1. If that's what nurturing means in this city, then I am proud to stand with Team Nature, okay? First of all, there would be no nurture without nature, okay? What other nurture people are going to, or the nurture people are going to say, oh, you're a product of your environment. You grew up in Miami, so you like the Miami Dolphins, something like that, right? Don't laugh at that. That's a legitimate NFL team. Dan Marino was an icon of my childhood in the 1980s, okay? But think about, I'm just going to name one thing that the nature people have on their side, okay? You might have heard of it. It's a little something called the Big Bang, okay? It's going to be pretty hard to make a case that your love of Dan Marino and the immortal 1980s Miami Dolphins would have been possible without this initial spasmodic act of creation. This fella's nodding his head like you were there, right? Like you have the picture, right? Sickest Instagram post of all time. Hashtag, this one's big, right? The Big Bang, okay? The original act of nature, for which all further expressions of nature sprang. Splitting the difference between sprang and sprung. So I'm not sure of the, a product of, well, actually I was about to say I'm a product of my environment, but I'm not! See how they get in your head? That mother's milk is curdled, okay? I'm not careful, right? Okay, so I just want to give, because this is a sign of my transparency and my integrity, okay? As a human and as a proud member of Team Nature, I'm just going to give one quick example of how nature trumps nurture, okay? Some of you may have noticed, those of you with a keen eye, the hand in which I'm holding this wireless microphone. And which hand is that? Right. That's right. And that's the hand on which I usually wear a wristwatch. And what does that mean? I'm actually left-handed. I'm left-handed, right? Getting back to St. Crispin's Day, we happy few. We left-handed people. And not only am I left-handed, but my brother is left-handed. And my father is left-handed. And my mother is left-handed. I grew up in a house plagued with disability and societal oppression, a nuclear family defined by our otherness, our left-handedness. When I was a child, and I wrote as, I'm quoting 1 Corinthians right here. When I was a child, and I wrote as a child, I'm paraphrasing 1 Corinthians here. I had to write with a pencil. And when you're left-handed and you write with a pencil, you know what happens. The side of your hand is smeared with graphite, and it looks like you spent all afternoon karate chopping chimney sweeps. You think I wanted that? You think my teachers were begging me to switch my hand and to write beautiful? I was always so jealous of people with this blue. You should see my family's handwriting. It looks like a bunch of broken squash spiders on a page. Okay? It looks disgusting because we were left-handed and we struggled our entire life with the simple fact of communication. The incredible experience of trying to express your worldview to a strange bearded man in a dark room. Okay? And I've never been able to do it because I've been plagued with this, I don't want to call it a disability because I'm learning to live with it. But I will say that as a child, it was hard. And I couldn't do anything about it. I'm sure Mike Pence's like, well, I could have sent you to my right-hand conversion therapy center and you could just pray it away. You can't do it! If you're left-handed, you're left-handed. And I just want to say one other thing before I run out of time. And this is simply, that's the bell that says I get another 45 minutes to talk about my childhood trauma being left-handed. I'm telling you this to endear you to me and me to you, whichever, I can't remember which way endearment works. I usually hope it's just like arrows shooting into my heart, but anyway. My family, and I'm sure there's a political analogy here somewhere. My family decided to take our left-handedness and turn it into a source of pride, and we were so dorky we actually subscribed to a catalog that featured articles of clothing and items designed for the out and proud, loud, left-handed family. Probably the nerdiest catalog of all time. But this was the best shirt. My father had this shirt, and I thought this was the coolest shirt of all time. And once I stole it from him and wore it to school. This is what the shirt said. If the left side of the mind controls the right side of the body, and the right side of the mind controls the left side of the body, then we lefties are the only people in our right minds. Go